So, last weekend we watched History in the Making. We watched it and we all probably saw some of it, whether we saw the highlights or we saw the whole thing. And we saw it with these two disruptive leaders. Leaders and disruptive in their own way. Meghan, and on the royal wedding website it says, I am a woman and I'm a feminist. First time that's ever appeared on a royal wedding. What do we think of that? So, why are these two disruptive?
If you think about disruptive, sometimes people think that disruptive is a negative thing, as in, ooh, he was really disruptive, or she was really disruptive. But actually, disruptive is to not conform. And there are different ways of not conforming, but the world is changing so fast that we all need to be a bit disruptive. And if you look at them, I think there were a number of different things you could see that people were saying, wow, that's never been done before. Everything from the amazing Reverend Michael Curry to the fact that all the politicians weren't invited in the way they always were. There were a number of things they did differently as a way of saying, you know what, this is us, this is how we want to do things. So I think there's a lot we can look at them and say, wow, actually, what can I do to disrupt? What can I do to step out a little bit from what I've done before? And that's why we're here today. We really wanted to share with you some of our thoughts around what is it to be a disruptive leader? And we think that's a really positive thing, right? You may look at that and you think, oh, I met one of them and they were nasty, right? That's not what we mean. We mean a good disruptor. How are we good disruptors? And Mandy and I, we both work as leadership strategists. We work with organizations all around the world. And we are constantly looking at what are the kind of things the future is going to need from us? What are the challenges that we see the leaders face in the world today? And we've sort of condensed down some 5 key steps for you today that we wanted to talk through. So Mandy, I know you have some experience with this picture here.
Yeah.
What can that tell us?
So this picture, I was in Rome recently, and this picture is in the Vatican, and it represents, in the inside, is the inside world and the outer world changing and coming together. So change as we see it. And as it rotates, the inside ball rotates and the outside ball rotates. And you can see a little bit of the old world and a little bit of the new world. And you sort of see the mechanics going, and it's very complex, but they start to move and shape together. So I found that really interesting. There's lots of other ways that is actually perceived and people see it. But that was what that really brought to me. And what we do when we're looking at the disruptive leader and leadership is say, well, why do we need to think about this? Why do we need to think about leadership? And how is it changing? Well, the world is changing around us and the digital age is changing. So how do we need to be thinking about leadership and thinking about the different paradigms?